Hey, happy Friday. It's June 15th. I'm Brian Mudd, and this is my cheat sheet for today. Healthcare reform. We're down to the wire. Conventional wisdom is we get a ruling in June, which means sometime over the next 2 weeks. As we get down to the wire, what are people thinking? Well, there's not too much of a situation to be able to grasp a handle on the Supreme Court. It's not as though they're out there talking to people so we can read tea leaves, right? But with regard to the prediction market, the one where we can put our own money on issues of the day, Intrade. According to Intrade, just about 70% of those that are putting money on healthcare reform are putting their money on the individual mandate being deemed unconstitutional. So, for whatever that's worth, the majority of people that are willing to put money on this issue say it is gone before the end of the month. What you need to know about Greece before Monday. You might have heard about how the European banking system kind of got together and said, we'll throw everything at the wall come Monday, if needed, depending upon what happens in Greece. What really is going on in Greece? You probably have heard that there's an election. Here's what's really at hand. It gets down to two simple things. You got a couple of possible outcomes here. One is that they remain in the Eurozone and they continue down this path of austerity and comply with the agreements they entered into earlier in the year. Okay? So basically it's status quo and they try to reduce their debt over time. The other is this 37-year-old communist/socialist, he self-identified as both, comes in and he reverses the austerity programs, which in effect will make him in violation, in Greece in violation of what they entered into before, and most likely would eventually lead to Greece being kicked out of the Eurozone, being kicked off of the Euro, okay? If that happens, you're going to see an eruption in the markets. Not a good eruption, a bad eruption in the markets come Monday. The reason the European banking system came out and said, we'll do anything that we need to put enough liquidity into the market is that they're afraid of a run on the European banking system. Not just the Greek banking system, but the European banking system on Monday. We already know that in Greece more than $1 billion per day has been pulled out of the banks because if people hold money in euros in Greece and Greece is kicked out of the Eurozone and they go back to their old currency, their euros would be converted into the new currency. The new currency is estimated to be worth between 20 to 30% of the euro. So, bottom line is, whatever happened yesterday in the stock market is non-consequential. Whatever happens today in the stock market is of no consequence. What happens in Greece over the weekend is of complete significance to what is going to be playing out not just Monday, but next week, because Europe, as you know, has been driving our ship as much as our own numbers have been driving our ship of late. All right, shadow housing inventory. Shadow housing inventory is what is basically foreclosed or near foreclosure that is going to end up for sale but is not already. The stuff that's being held back, right? Well, one more sign that housing is on the right path. We have seen a 28% decline in shadow housing inventory just over the last approximate 6 months or so. We've reduced our shadow inventory from about 2.1 million homes down to about 1.5 million. That's another positive sign that we are making progress not only in housing at large, but also with the banks churning back those foreclosed properties into the pipeline, which also should mean more price stability going forward. Every single indication we have in housing right now is generally positive, and there really, even if the economy takes a bit of a dip south, is no reason to think that we are going to see problems in housing. Remember, even in the recession about a decade ago, housing was still on the slight upswing, even in the midst of that recession. So the overall economy at large does impact housing, but it doesn't mean that it would take it back down yet again, as many people fear. And Mr. Softy, Microsoft, on Monday, they're going to have what they say is a major announcement. It's supposed to be so secretive that even those that are invited to attend aren't going to know what city it's in until Monday morning. Let me tell you what's going on. Microsoft's going to come out with its own tablet. And not just something with its own operating system on the tablet, but its own tablet that's going to go after the iPad. Sorry, Mr. Softy. But anyway, it'd be interesting to see all the features are going to be in it. It's a cheat sheet for today. Enjoy yours, and see you on Monday.